Snaky Shawn is heading for trouble, guys. And you know what? If he's not heading for trouble in the villa, he's heading for trouble outside the villa. Because look at this video Omar made, in which Omar admits that he didn't know what Shawn had done until he watched the show back when he got back to the UK. Have a look.
What's your opinion on Shawn? I've been waiting to answer this question for a very long time. Really been waiting. It's so mad because when I done my after sun, I got asked a question and they were like, oh, like, so, like, what's the situation with you and Shawn? I was like, oh, Shawn's my guy, you know what I mean? Shawn apart, But I didn't actually find out what happened until I got back home on like Monday, Tuesday, and I actually found out that he basically had the last say in kicking me out. And when I saw that, I was like, I said, rah, this is what we're doing. Because to me, I'm like, yeah, that Shawn's my guy when I was in the villa, you know what I mean? Obviously, when he had a conversation with girls and he wasn't sure, he'd come to me and talk to me, and I'd help him, I'd egg him on and say, yeah, like, obviously, go chat to that girl, go do your thing, And obviously, we had that little altercation about when he pulled Matilda for a conversation and took her to the hideaway, and I've obviously spoken to him, and everyone's like, oh, my thing, do my thing. But in all fairness, like, when I see him, we're going to have a conversation, innit? Because obviously, for me, I'm a person that stands on morals and principles. And what he done was just allowing himself to have the easiest route to find a connection in the villa. So for me, I would never do that to somebody. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like I would never look at a next man and say, oh, yeah, he's in competition with me, so now I need to get rid of him because I don't want him around, kind of thing. So yeah, man. But I don't know what's gonna happen moving forward in terms of my relationship with him. He was my guy in the villa, but I can't lie, man. I don't like candy anymore. I don't feel like I'm on a healthy diet thing, so yeah, I don't know about that one.
Ooh, Shawn, you better watch yourself. This video just screams, when Shawn lands in the UK, I, Omar, will be waiting at the airport to meet him. That's quite funny, isn't it? I feel for Omar, because I didn't know that Omar didn't know that stuff when he sat down to do his After Sun video. So that means that he found out after the fact that basically Shawn got him kicked off the show so that he could have his way with Matilda. And we all know that Omar could have easily stayed in the show. He didn't need to go, so that's a shame. I do feel for Omar. There's always hope he can come back, but the way things are going right now, it seems unlikely. But another thing about Shawn, and this really caught me off guard, guys. Welcome to today's first look video, by the way. And that is this picture from the preview of Shawn and Diamante. I did not see that coming. Did any of us see this coming? Because I know he sat down and had a conversation with Ruby, I think. It was Ruby or Emma. And I thought, okay, maybe he's going to gun for one of them. But no, here he is kissing her. I mean, I don't know if this is part of a game or whether this is Shawn, you know, guessing her sweet right. And because he guessed her sweet right, she gives him a big kiss. But there he is, bigger than Dallas, giving her a good old smacker on the lips. But if Shawn gets in trouble, I'm not sure that many of us care. Because we've seen the way he behaves, going behind people's backs, being snaky Shawn. So you know what? If he does that, he gets what he deserves. And I think we can all agree on that. Now, Grace and Messiah, I didn't see this coming either. Grace and Messiah kissing. Even after Grace had that long old kiss with Blade last night, she is now kissing Messiah. And this doesn't look like it's part of a challenge. It looks like it takes place in a bedroom or just a room somewhere in the villa. Yeah. So Grace has got two guys on the go. Two. Duh. That means two in French, by the way.
And most importantly, raspberries.
Oh yeah, because they're cute and hairy.
Quite like that TikTok from Ronnie and Harriet. What do you think? They're obviously getting ready for an interview, and I like the way they chose that particularly weird conversation Ronnie had with Tiffany. Now, of course, tonight we're going to see Ayo kissing Jessica, unless something miraculous happens before they lock lips. Maybe an alarm goes off and they don't kiss, but I think it's going to happen. No surprises there. We all know what Ayo's up to. I do think Mimi needs to move on with someone, and maybe she should just come back with Lionel for safety's sake. Which is what I think India did ages ago, didn't she? Yeah, she did. She came back with someone, didn't she? Even though Dami hadn't been faithful to her, she came back with someone just as a kind of act of protection. So maybe Mimi should consider doing the same with Lionel. Yeah, that means Lionel is slightly dispensable, but I think the way Ayo's going, I don't see how it's going to work with Mimi, because if his head's going to turn this frequently, it ain't going to work. And of course we've got Will with Lucy, and yeah, that was quick, wasn't it? That was a quick old switch there. I didn't think it had happened quite as quickly as it did. Hopefully Uma again will sense something's up and find someone to latch onto. As I've always said, not a big fan of Will anyway. So you know what? It looks like things are going to be pretty dramatic tonight. And adding to the drama is this good little storyline that I didn't see coming. I had an inkling of it, but I didn't know it was actually going to develop. And that is Matilda also gunning for Hugo, who has just been passionately kissing and romancing Jess.
Looks wise, you're probably the person I'd fancy most. I'm fuming at her. She can see how happy I am for the first time in ages. She's got someone back there anyway. Why is she trying to get involved in something?
This looks like it could be great. You know, I just think, for some reason, because Jess has been such a villain this series, I feel like she herself is saying, you know, I just got with someone and here's Matilda interfering, and I'm like, well, you've been so kind of off with everyone this series. I feel like it's hard to be sympathetic towards you because of the way you treated everyone else. And maybe also I feel like now Harriet's gone, Jess is finding another problem. Because do you remember when Harriet was in the villa, Jess was like, oh, Harriet, she's always doing this, Harriet's always doing that, me and Harriet don't get on, Harriet's my enemy. And now Harriet's gone, looks like Jess has found another enemy in Matilda. In fact, I think Jess will find a lot of enemies wherever she goes. She seems to attract a lot of them. But this is a storyline I didn't see coming, as I said, and I hope we mine this for all it's worth. That's about it, I think, today, guys, because I don't have any more information yet. More may come later on. Who do you think is going to couple up with who before the week ends? Because I think it's going to come to an end more on Friday, or they're probably going to head back to the villa on Sunday, and we're going to see the big showdown. What do you reckon? I reckon we're looking at quite a few recouplings here, and quite a few broken hearts, and quite a few tears. But don't worry, they have special Love Island buckets to fill those up, and then they take the buckets of tears and pour them into the swimming pool in the villa, and everyone swims in them. And that's a rather bizarre metaphor for the redemption of the relationship falling apart. I don't know what I'm talking about, but you are still watching nonetheless. Now, we did get a few seconds of Connor in the villa last night to remind us that Connor is still in Love Island. He's getting the Munvir treatment, isn't he? You just like, you blink and you miss him. And I do feel for Connor, because I feel like surely there is someone there for Connor. Surely he is at least attempting to crack onto one of the girls. We saw more of Trey last night, and Trey's barely been in the show for a day. We saw more of Trey than we did of Connor, and I want to see more of Connor. I want to see Connor find someone. There must be someone there for Connor. Otherwise, he is very vulnerable. He's really vulnerable. But then there are a few Casa boys who we haven't really seen get on with anyone. Like Joel hasn't really seemed to get on with anyone. We've seen very little of him. So I'm not really sure. This always happens, doesn't it, with Casa? And you get these mixtures of boys and girls, some of whom come in, talk big, and then you literally see nothing of them. So remember, was it Lydia last year? We saw literally nothing of her. She showed up, we never saw her. Next thing we know, she's out of the villa on After Sun, and that was it. And it was all very strange. Anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts. Put your comments below, and I'll get back to you later, perhaps. Have a magnificent Wednesday.